When you hear him talking about his football mortality, what thoughts went through your mind?
Well, I think it was interesting because usually you don't talk about that, and it's kind of, you keep it close to your chest. And I could think back to losing an AFC championship game, and the second that you lose in a big game, especially in the playoffs, you think about the whole season and all the risk that you had to take to get to that point and how much more work you have to do to get back to that same spot. You got to go through all the OTAs, all the offseason. You got to go through training camp, 17 games now, and you have to stay healthy, which is not easy to do. We see guys every single year. They're not playing at the end. So, I think that when he talks about the mortality side of things, he's also looking at the end of my career, they're going to look at one championship ring. And you look at Tom Brady, he's got 7 championship rings. So I think he's definitely aware of the fact that in the playoffs, he has come short. It's been 12 years since he's been in a Super Bowl. And I think really that's probably bothering him a little bit.
There was an openness. I mean, he's been ridiculously open all year long. But
Very open.
But in this case, I think he's sort of saying what all of us are thinking, which is, wow, there's a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers on Saturday night.
Yeah, because we assume this will be the end of Aaron in Green Bay. We talk all the time about how he's the best quarterback on the field, except when it comes to the Super Bowls. And that's what he doesn't have. He can't match Tom Brady, and he's running out of time. He knows he'll never be talked about like the GOAT, like Tom Brady. And this Packers team, they're built to win it all this year. And if they don't, what happens next?
Yeah, all these moments that he has through the course of a career, they start to fade as you get further away. The big moments are what people are going to remember. And the kids who are small now and they're going to be sitting up on these desks later, they're not going to remember how awesome a player he was week to week. They're going to point at the number of Super Bowls and see that his company is not commensurate with his talent. The single Super Bowl thing is something that you think about, well, I mean, some Trent Dilfer pop up and win a Super Bowl here or there, which is no slight to him, but it's like that's one Super Bowl territory. 2 Super Bowl territory is a little different. 3 Super Bowl territory is, I think, closer to his skill level.
Right.
Nobody's getting to 7. That's a neighborhood all to his own. So I don't think Aaron Rodgers is thinking about Tom Brady at all when he's having this conversation, but he's thinking about himself, and he's thinking about how unfair it is, but how accurate it is that those big game situations, that's what we're going to go back to, and that's what his legacy is probably inevitably going to be at some point.
He has an enormous advantage, a variety of enormous advantages based upon being the number 1 seed that the 49ers had to play. We talked at great length yesterday about the advantage in rest and everything else they have. All of that aside, it's not a good matchup, or not an easy matchup. But there's a tough game, and we have seen that 49er defense in recent years, as recently as 2 years ago in the NFC Championship game, give him a very hard time.
It's the divisional round of the playoffs. You're rarely going to get an easy matchup. That's the way it is. Aaron knows that. We all know that. We all expect that. This is a particularly tough one because while the entire league is moving to a lighter, faster game, there are a couple of teams that are still trying to punch you in the mouth. And most teams are not built to defend that. And the 49ers are one of those teams. Most teams in the league are taking guys who would have been safeties in the 90s, and they are now linebackers. And now they're bringing guys like Trent Williams after them, and they're trying to run right at you. And that's a tough thing to stand up to when you're 220, 230 at a linebacker spot.
And that guy, Deebo Samuel, is their running back, and he may be the most physical player, pound for pound, in the league. Kmart, I was reading in your notes. You liked what RC said the other day, which was, on this show, which was, they're not a bad matchup. They're a good football team.
I agree with RC because it is disrespectful because they are a good team. And when you think about the Packers, yes, they were able to put their feet up this week. They were able to relax. The toe rested. That's great. But Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't been great against the 49ers. There's one team that doesn't seem to wilt under that Rodgers mystique, and it's the 49ers. He's 6-3 against them in the regular season, but 0-3 against them in the playoffs. He actually has lost to the 49ers more than he's lost to the Bears in his career, and he's played the Bears 28 times. Like that, credit to Hembo for that. That's great. And I was there at the NFC title game. I covered that game. I was in that locker room where they beat Aaron Rodgers, and they're wearing the Mobile to Miami shirts, going to the Super Bowl, talking about how they were able to get past Aaron Rodgers. Like, this is a team that has played him, beaten him, and feels good about the matchup, actually.
San Francisco is the team he grew up rooting for. Chicago is the team that he has owned for the last 20 years.
I still own you,
And if you don't believe it, just ask him. So there's that game. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.